Oklahoma versus Tennessee reaction. Let's get it.
3, Tennessee 27. We're going to break it down from both sides of this. But Oklahoma, in very Frankensteinish fashion, they're alive. They're alive. We'll break it down from both sides, like I said, right now. As always, presented by BetMGM. Make sure you're subscribed right here to the On3 YouTube channel. It's college football. Nothing but college football year-round. Want y'all a part of this. Here's where we'll start.
So before we hop into it, man, the fact that Oklahoma beat Tennessee without any type of passing game, like John Mateer did not look good through the air. Running wise, he was solid, man. But overall, man, the fact that they beat Tennessee with just him using his legs and that running back they got is kind of a scary thought. If we're being honest, it's a little bit of a scary thought. Because if John Mateer does bring his arm and his arm talent, how many points does this Oklahoma score? All right, how many points does he score? So let's get into it. Make sure you subscribe, like the video. I'm trying to set up a bunch of exposure events for free. Kids don't have to pay nothing. Just show a kid's JUCO transfers. If you in Atlanta and you can get there, get there. Trying to get coaches lined up for y'all. I'm gonna have a lot of content around this, so you'll get a lot of exposure just for showing up and competing. But let's hop into this video.
We talk about this a lot on this show, but I want to double down yet again. Accountability is what we're about. We picked Tennessee. Tennessee lost the football game. Oklahoma came out and was the more physical team, was the more prepared team, was the more composed team, won that game. We were wrong, so we eat crow, and it is what it is. We don't have any problem doing that. Gonna have to wear that one, man. Gonna have to, for those of y'all that are new to the show.
The Twizzlers?
Black licorice flavor.
Okay, yeah.
Not the most delectable. Ball up top. Here's the thing. We've talked a lot about Brent Venables, the head coach, over the course of really the last couple of seasons since he got that job at Oklahoma. Everyone says, okay, yeah, he gets Oklahoma. He was a good defensive coordinator there, won a national championship. He knows what it's supposed to look like given his days at Clemson. But some guys are just cut out to be head coaches of football programs. Some guys are cut out to be coordinators of football programs. Which one is Brent Venables? He's still new to this. And during those 6-win years, that discussion around, well, he's just a good coordinator. He's just a good coordinator kind of got ramped up a little bit. I think last night is a huge data point when it comes to the argument for Brent Venables being one of the head coach material guys in this whole profession. Because look at the spot that Oklahoma was in walking into that game. They had lost 2 of their last 3. They had played a game the week before against Ole Miss where you got beat at your place against the calling card of your football team, which is your defense. Brent Venables calling the show there. And to be able to walk into this spot where Tennessee's only got 2 losses, they got everything to play for, they're running hot, they got the black uniforms on, all that is good, and Oklahoma walks in and gets right in the spot, where quite frankly, they weren't really supposed to get right in that spot as a football team, for my money. Now, offensively, there was the argument of, well, the defense is very gettable for Tennessee, that secondary is very ripe for the picking for John Mateer. So maybe it's a get-right spot for the offense in that way. But for the football team, you should not have been able to go on the road at night in that spot and get right. And they did. And I think a lot of that has to do with the preparedness throughout the week. Yes, from a game plan perspective. But I think just competitively and emotionally and like upstairs, that's a head coach thing to me. Your head coach gets you ready persona-wise to go win a football game like this. And so there's been a lot of discussion about the way that Brent Venables goes about his business, and he's not always the most fiery guy as a head coach. As a coordinator now, you got to pull him off the field, but as a head coach, been a little bit more composed, a little bit more even keel, and I think that's exactly what this team needed. I think it's a big reason why this team won that football game last night. Big shouts to Brent Venables for getting his team ready in that spot. Now, in the same vein, I think we've got to talk about John Mateer. John Mateer looked a lot closer to the version of John Mateer we saw early on in the year. You know what I'm saying? A couple reasons as to why I believe that is. First off, he had more help. Like, everyone's dunking on John Mateer early on in the year. I'm like, dude, he has no run game. John Mateer is the best running back for this football team, and he plays quarterback. That's not a good way to live. Last night, Xavier Robinson, was he perfect? No, but over 100 yards, that gave him a little bit more opportunity to have some wiggle room in his own run game, being able to stay ahead of the sticks a little bit more frequently, being able to push the ball downfield a little bit better. Now, the offense didn't have this explosive day at the office, okay?
So I let that go for a minute. I kind of wanted to hear where he was going with the John Mateer, and I really just don't agree with the notion that this is what we expect John Mateer to look like early in the season. I don't expect, from a running perspective, it was a great game. From a passing perspective, it was solid. However, if John Mateer would have had the same rushing attack and he had like 200, 215 for like 2 TDs and that 1 interception, okay, like now this is the Heisman candidate type John Mateer that I thought we would see. Obviously, he's still healing from this surgery he had, but I don't think that was the best representation of John Mateer to me. I think John Mateer is a very good quarterback. I don't think yesterday or this past weekend was a great example of that.
Don't hear me incorrectly, but being able to support John Mateer, I think, was the difference last night, or one of the massive differences in how Oklahoma went about their business. Second part of this for John Mateer, he just acted more like himself. And over the last couple of weeks, we've been asking this question, hey, how healthy is John Mateer? And I have held this sentiment. I think he's healthy enough.
Okay.
I think it's a matter of him trusting how healthy he is. And last night, it wasn't like he lit up the stat sheet. It wasn't like he threw for 300 yards.
Thank you.
But 16 carries for 80 yards, got a little bit of something going on the ground. He just looked like he was playing like himself. Looked like he was playing with that same attitude and temperature and reckless abandonment that makes John Mateer John Mateer. Because John Mateer is a lot of things. Careful is not one of them. And that's what makes him so good. He thrives when he's got a couple carries under his belt, when he's able to maybe talk a little bit of trash. The team rallies around that. As an offense, you absolutely feed off of that. When your quarterback's got it going on the ground, he's making plays off script, all those things. That version of John Mateer is the best version of John Mateer for Oklahoma. Now, the good news is,
but we didn't get that version. Like you said, if he would have threw for like 200-300 and had that rush attack, that is the best version of John Mateer. I think Oklahoma got a watered down version of John Mateer this past weekend, but it was good enough to win. Obviously, I don't expect these men to be perfect every week, but to say that was the best version of John Mateer, he's so much better than that.
There is a lot more meat on the bone for that offense. There's a lot more that John Mateer can do for you as he continues to get confidence and trust himself and all those things. But when he's playing that level of controlled recklessness, that's where Oklahoma's liable to beat you. And I think you saw that last night. Defensively, you can't say enough good things about Oklahoma. Honestly, I came away from this game just thinking about how good a game plan Lane Kiffin had dialed up in this spot to beat this Oklahoma defense. That defense, to me, I said it during the first part of the year, I'll say it again. They will always be that card that Oklahoma can throw down in any given scenario and say, no, you might have this personnel on us, you might have home field advantage, you might have your dark mode uniforms on, all that is well and good. When we have our defense out there on the field for 4 quarters, that is always going to be the reverse Uno card we can throw down against you. Again, don't care what uniform you're wearing, don't care what time's the game at, don't care who's on the broadcast crew. This defense, any given Saturday, cannot just keep us in a football game. It can win a football game for us. Like, y'all, I'll be real with you. I was sitting at home, again, having picked Tennessee to win this football game, and I texted Cato during the first half, I want to say it was, towards the end of the first half. And the feeling I got was, man, Oklahoma's sort of fortunate to be in this game. Like that R. Mason Thomas fumble that he ran back to the house, that was darn near Herculean effort, where he's stiff-arming Kisselman off of him, and then he's like just willing himself into the end zone. That was unbelievable. And then for the field goal unit to be what they were last night, I mean, Tate Sandell was a freaking, as Kirk Herbstreit said, weapon and a half out there in the shorts, just making it rain. That defense being able to hold their water in the first half while the offense kind of found their footing, found their stride, got their confidence, all of that. You cannot say enough good things about that unit. And after a week where I'm sure they were challenged in that meeting room, where I think they probably felt challenged by the college football public and saying, well, actually, hang on a second. Best offense they had played before Ole Miss was Michigan. They play a good offense, get torn to shreds. What's up with this? To be able to answer that call to action and to play the way they did last night on the road in a gotta-have-it spot again, the reverse Uno card from Oklahoma will always be on the table there for them to throw down any given Saturday. So I stand by what I said post-Michigan about this football team. Are they a college football playoff team? We'll see. You got to beat Alabama. You beat Alabama, everything is at your fingertips. You only have 2 losses, so technically it's still all at your fingertips. But you play Alabama.
Ooh, them last 3 games are not easy. Alabama, Missouri, LSU? Ugh, that's not easy, man. That is not easy. Alabama is going to be a tough out. Missouri should not be slept on, and I don't care who the head coach for LSU. Them boys still have a talented roster, still. So you gotta be careful, man. So if they can get 2 out of these 3 games, Oklahoma could be a playoff team. But it's only 12 slots, man. And it's gonna be a lot of 10-2 teams, a lot of 9-3s. So I don't know, man. Full video in the description below, man. Like I said, subscribe, like the video, help us get pushed in the algorithm. Definitely trying to get the 50K. So we can help these kids get recruited, man. So I can take these resources, take these funds, and schedule these events and pay these coaches to come out and recruit and scout these kids, man. Get at me. I'm out. I'm gone.